Welcome to Getting Started in CNPWeb for the School Nutrition Program, presented by the Maine Department of Education, Child Nutrition. The purpose of this video is to introduce you to CNPWeb, a new website that will allow you to apply for and participate in the federally funded school nutrition program administered by the Maine Department of Education, Child Nutrition. Within CNPWeb, you will be able to complete program enrollment annually, communicate with the child nutrition administrators who specialize in the school nutrition program, which we will abbreviate as SNP throughout the rest of this video, and to file claims for reimbursement. Through participation in SNP, you will also have the chance to participate in other associated federal programs, such as school breakfast, school lunch, fresh fruit and vegetable, after-school snack, and seamless summer. The first area we will cover are some terms that will be used in CNPWeb. If you have participated in SNP in the past, these terms may already be familiar to you. Also, some of the terms are technical because we will be discussing the use of a website. Let's start with the phrase state agency. In the case of Maine, this means the Department of Education Child Nutrition Agency. There are 2 phone numbers on the login page of CNPWeb that you can call with questions that are not addressed in the user manuals and training videos provided. Also, you will probably be given contact information to state agency individuals who have more in-depth knowledge of the specific federal programs in which you participate. Anytime you see "Contact your state agency" in these videos or in the user manuals, use the phone numbers on the login page or the contact information you were given directly via email. The next term we are going to discuss is browser. A browser is software that allows you to move around the internet. CNPWeb is a website that can only be accessed via a browser. Common browsers include Edge, Chrome, Safari, and Firefox. Whether you are on your phone or computer, you typically have 1 or 2 of these browsers already installed, and you probably use them every day. CNPWeb is not suited to use on a phone, and since it is a business website, you will probably be using it on a work computer. CNPWeb does not work in all browsers. For example, Internet Explorer, a popular Microsoft browser, is no longer supported by Microsoft. Therefore, you cannot assume that CNPWeb will work properly if you are using Internet Explorer. It is recommended that you use a more recent version of one of the 4 common browsers we mentioned previously. If you have concerns about your browser and whether it will work with CNPWeb, contact your state agency. The next term we will discuss is URL. A URL is simply an address on the internet. Don't worry about remembering the CNPWeb URL we are about to give you. You will receive this URL and some initial login information in an email from the Maine Department of Education Child Nutrition Agency. The URL for your state's CNP website is me.cnpus.com/me.cnp/login. Once you visit the site, it would be a good idea to save that initial email and to add the URL to your browser favorites. The process to adding it to your favorites varies in different browsers, so we will not cover that here. Just be aware that you have the ability to make the site a favorite so it is easier to visit in future. The next term we will cover is sponsor. In CNPWeb, the term sponsor is used to refer to a school district. Each sponsor can have 1 or more schools that are referred to as sites in CNPWeb. Each sponsor and school must have an approved application within CNPWeb to participate in SNP. We will cover the process of completing these applications in another video. The final term we will cover as part of this introduction is sponsor administrator. This is typically the person on a district level who will be doing the majority of the data entry for applications and claims within CNPWeb. Each sponsor can have at least 1 or more administrator. Typically, 1 sponsor administrator is responsible for 1 sponsor and their associated sites. However, sometimes small districts may actually have a single sponsor administrator for multiple districts. If that is the case with you, Contact your state agency to ensure you can access all the sponsors for whom you may need to enter data. The second section of this video will cover logging in your first time. As previously stated, you should receive an email with the URL and the login information from your state agency. Follow these steps to complete your first login. Open your browser and go to the URL or address line. Type in the URL sent to you from the Maine Department of Education to the CNPWeb website. Enter the login ID that was sent to you in the original email in the first field on the login page. In the second field, enter the initial password given to you. And then click the login button. The screen will then prompt you to change your password. Enter the initial password you were given into the first field. Then enter a new password into the second and third fields. Note that the new password must meet the guidelines described at the bottom of the page. Read the password guidelines carefully and make sure the new password you are creating matches those rules. If it does not, the system will reject the new password and prompt you to try again. Once you have successfully logged in, you will come to what is called the Notice screen. Click the Next Page button to continue. Next, you will see the Program Year Selection screen. Notice it has the start and stop dates for each program year, so you can tell which program year you need to be in. Click the blue link to Program Year to the left, and it will take you to the main screen on which you will perform most of your activities as a sponsor administrator. In the upper left-hand corner, you will have the main menu. The upper right-hand corner, you will have a variety of tools. And in the middle, you have a bunch of different tabs to perform your various duties. There is a checklist tab, shows you all your offline documents. The Applications tab will show you the sponsor and site information sheets. The Forms tab will show you various forms that need to be completed throughout the program year. The Claims tab will show you where you can file claims and how to view previous ones. Payments will show payment batches that have been sent out to you. And then finally, the User tab will show you all the users for that sponsor. These tabs make up what is essentially the sponsor summary screen, where you will do most of your work. In the upper right-hand corner, there is a link to Program Year, and this will take you to the Program Year selection should you need to change the year in which you're working. The Sponsor link will take you to a sponsor selection screen if you work on more than one sponsor. Majority of you will only have one sponsor or school district to maintain. Also in the upper right-hand corner is the program's drop-down list. If your school district is participating in more than one program, for instance, if they are also participating in the food distribution program or the summer food program, then you may be able to switch programs by clicking on this drop-down list. The other drop-down list that is important is your username in the upper right corner. Clicking on that will take you to the Sign Out link. It is extremely important that every time you leave your workstation or you finish using the application for any length of time, that you log out for security purposes. This completes the first video for the school nutrition program regarding the topic of getting started. If you have more questions, feel free to contact your state agency or re-review this video as needed. In addition, there will be resources under the main menu help link to user manuals and other videos that go into greater detail.